Well, I don't know.
Okay. I don't
Because
know
when they
if
want
we
to be
can-
listening, I'm going to ask them, what was y'all at?
we can hear this.
Oh, I'm making Jules Legend next year.
Girl.
Y'all is live right now. Y'all live on Tins of Chops Television
She
Network.
be better than me. Fuck that bitch.
He's legend, bitch. He's statue, bitch. I'm making him legend.
Who?
Oh, then he's statue.
At a boat night?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what we doing.
Legend. He's at the iconic.
And she lost the whole category, though. You win.
Okay, I'm a fan.
This is a Jules thing.
I was always a
Okay,
fan.
we can hear.
I'm Jules, fan page president.
Hey y'all, we're gonna get this. Let's get this started so we can light this out the way so y'all can talk about y'all.
Hey, y'all see me?
All y'all stuff. Not really.
Okay, good.
A little bit.
They can hear me.
Like the little bit.
I'm over here sucking my finger.
I'm
We do that. We real. We real around here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see the person going back there getting her fit sliced. But
Let's just be reading. Let me go get another
No.
slice.
no, while y'all here, let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and get it started because I got it going live and everything. This is the first empowerment session for TOC Foundation, TOC Center for Tins and Chops Foundation, which is the 501c3. I am the chairman. The co-chair is Zaparis. Our treasurer is AJ. We're gonna start this foundation. Hopefully by December, everything will be in place as into starting the legal process of it and everything. I'm writing up the bylaws and all that. Reason why we're putting this together is we in the streets, we're in the field, we're out there with everybody. We know what is needed by the community and stuff like that. So same thing as with United Black Element that we was doing, the things that we were restricted, that we could not do, we can do that here now. When we couldn't do stuff for them because, Resource Center was over there and this, and I'm tired of that. So we in the field, we know what y'all want. We real with each other. So when there was a lot of stuff that we could have did with UBE and y'all was like, can we do this? We like, no, we ain't got to worry about that now. It's kind of like, can we do it? Yeah, we can do it because this is what we need. You know what I'm saying? So it's more so, that's what we're doing. When it comes down to resources, health, unemployment, housing, food, hunger, all this kind of stuff. And right now, with the climate that we're in right now, we really need to kind of lock in and stuff like that and get it together. A lot of us may not see eye to eye, I know it, but you know what I'm saying? We can work with somebody to get some stuff done. We don't have to, because you already see what the climate is. But I'm going to start mine off before we get into the conversation. My name is J-Rock Ebony. Cedric Johnson for the foundation, but I am J-Rock Ebony. I am the founder of TOC Foundation and the Tins and Chops Entertainment LLC, which works with the community. I go by he, him, legend, icon, chief, that motherfucker, respectively. And the icebreaker for the day is what do you know about Project 2025 and Project Esther, and how do you feel about it? So, you gonna go this way? Big Mama first. You gotta introduce yourself, all that stuff. You know how we do it.
Hey y'all, I am Gia Balmain, better known as Big Mama. I Balmain around taxis, right?
Mm-hmm.
She, her, hers. Icon legend. Something about I honestly. Excuse me. The funny thing is, I be thinking I be knowing about the project 2020, but I really don't be paying attention.
Okay.
And so I don't know in depth of what is. I can't tell you if what's currently happening is a part of it or not. I just know there's certain things that's currently happening that I don't agree with. But I haven't done enough research on the backing as the overall, I guess, bill or predictions on projects that they had, if that's what's actually being paid out. So I can't tell you that part.
Okay.
But I'll pass it, I guess. I'm Gia, and yep, go right ahead.
I'm Winter Juicy Balmain. About the Project 2025. Really don't know much. I read it, but I didn't really like stick to it, so I really don't know much.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I can say about it.
Well.
For now, you know, he, she, I'm gonna answer to all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Hello. I am Rampage. Ebony
The
Juicy.
voices.
Huh? Can you hear me? Can you hear
You know,
me?
you can speed up.
hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
And my pronouns are her,
Oh.
her,
What?
she, miss, ma'am.
That's right.
And
Do
what's
not.
funny?
It's what's funny. Yeah. Damn right.
And like an honest moment, what I know about Project 2025 is absolutely nothing.
Okay.
So I'm actually very thankful for you to educate me today because I really don't know anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
We love that.
Okay, that's good. Hello, I'm July, Juicy Tour,
007?
007, and I go by she, her, ma'am, blah, 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 yes. But what do I know about Project 2025? I really don't know anything about it. I do know that it is affecting me and my everyday presence here living in Texas, specifically Texas. So it's a lot of things that I disagree on that I want to be able to advocate and, basically help with the community because I feel like we don't have enough people's voices out here. So with me being me in my young age, I feel like I want to be able to pave the way for the people that's younger than me as well. So, just to live like another 4 years, more years and more years to come.
Hey y'all, I'm Woo.
Don't get shade. Hey y'all, I'm Woo.
Oh my God. That was so good.
We'll just see by May. I mean, I know a little bit about Project 2025. I've read up on it. I'm into politics. I watch the news just like at home by myself. But it's a lot of things that are in there that are like targeted towards like a marginalized group of people or like the minorities. A lot of stuff that can affect a lot of our everyday life. Which I completely disagree with, and I think it's just I can't even believe honestly that this is life. Feel like we're living in a simulation.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited to learn more and be able to advocate for my people.
Mm-hmm.
Hi everyone. I go by Rosa or Auntie, little Southern.
Oh, I'm sorry. My pronouns are the dog.
I feel like I know before Project 2025, I knew enough about this country and what it does and who it stands for. There's silly little laws that I shouldn't speak out loud, but if you catch me one-on-one, then you're cool there. But, for the purpose of tonight, like, specifics I would love to learn more about. But at the end of the day, like, we just need each other, we need our people, we never needed a government to stand up for us and protect us. And that comes from, things like this together.
Okay.
Hello. I am Zubair, Vice President of TOC, the iconic pioneer of the Gulf Coast PPC and the president of the mainstream legendary Gulf Coast United Ebony. So specifics, I don't really know like all of the details of 2025, Project 2025, but to kind of like summarize it up for people to make it make sense in a generalized statement is basically a plan to dismantle democracy as we know it. When we talk about democracy, the United States has a long history of being the lead nation of democracy in our nation, period. Which means that we operate in a space to where we agree about like freedom and freedoms that other countries may not even operate in the realm of, right? And so Project 2025 is basically the handbook to step-by-step dismantle democracy as we know it. The scariest part about it is that growing up, I watch Fox News. I feel like Fox was a common station that whether you were rich or poor, you kind of could access that kind of station. It didn't matter. I didn't realize at the time that politics and I don't even think that even back then in the time that politics and social media kind of operate in the same realm because of the Constitution. Obviously, took history and on a basic level, you kind of understand that the Constitution is in place to kind of guardrail these type of things that we're experiencing today from happening, period. And so now in today's era, where I think it's now frontline media, and it shows not only like the injustice in our justice system, but just how corrupt politics can get, right? And so the fact that even on the campaign trail that there were warnings about Project 2025 and people didn't take heed to it, not necessarily I would say black and brown people, because the irony of it all is Project 2025 actually attacks their people, their own constituents, which is the irony of it all. When you think about people who benefit from government assistance, it's not the black and brown people. It's the people that voted for you that ultimately are, affected the most. And the thing about it is, Project 2025 is a playbook on things that we've already experienced in our life, in the nation's lifetime. When you think about the Civil War, people would just fight for equality. You know what I'm saying? And now that we've gotten so far in that fight, these same people who probably weren't even born back then, who probably had parents that were a part of these organizations that kind of kept equality from us, are the people who are now leading charge on trying to bring us back there. But I feel like because we're so far ahead as a nation, honestly, it's one of those moments where people have bitten off more than they can chew. Where it sounds good on the campaign trail, but obviously you see that this man lied to you. Because everything that he promised you, you're not getting. It's the complete opposite. And I get the fact that the trauma that
It's
like
because y'all Democrats.
Right.
It's because of y'all Democrats.
No, it's not.
Yes.
In reality,
Right.
in reality,
Somebody be a-
right now, Republicans hold power in politics.
Yeah, and you're starting to turn our people against us.
They control the House and the Senate, which means that they ultimately shape our reality right now. They can pass any type of laws they want. They have the majority. Anything that they want to do, they can do. So if they truly cared about you, it would show from that period. And the thing about it is, like I said, the irony of it all is because people don't realize how much politics truly affect their everyday life until it's this type of situation where Trump was on the campaign saying, "Oh, I'm a lower grocery prices." Yeah, it sounds good, but you also have to do your research on these same politics to see, well, what is your history in politics? Are you a person who is a man of your word, or you just out here just making false promises? But ultimately, the fact that now Project 2025 is live and in effect, and now everybody is kind of woke to it now. I don't foresee it being able to be fully fulfilled, in this whole longevity, because again, it is affecting everyday people a lot. Although they are weaponizing marginalized communities to try to infiltrate and try to continue to carry out Project 2025. They just don't understand that at the end of the day, because you are affecting so many other people outside of these marginalized communities, it's not going to be, able to be fully fulfilled. Right.
She done broke the ice, melted the ice.
Oh, my bad.
It was an
I
icebreaker.
mean, because I'm so passionate
I love
about
hip
this.
hop.
I watch it all day.
Y'all gotta be more discreet, y'all. I'm glad it's over this way. The TOC
They gotta
Foundation.
kick back. But yeah, as far as-
Those Coca-Cola bottles are so.
but as far as Project 2025, I am pretty educated on the matter.
So can you introduce yourself? Who are you? And then the icebreaker.
Hi, I am AJ Sally Ebony. He, him, her, all that is respectful. 27.
Got a long walk on the beach.
Huh?
Long walk on the
Man,
beach.
they actually everywhere.
What's his zodiac?
Aries.
No one cares.
Fire sign.
Do you know
Yeah.
anything about?
What I do know about Project 2025 is that it has to do with government control. They don't like our community. It's a whole bunch of conservative ways that they want to empower. And yeah, that's what I know.
Okay.
Turn it down.
I wonder what's this thing going?
I should get a redo because
All
we
right,
just that.
time to get
I should say it's the legendary.
You
Mother.
gonna give it up for yourself on that?
Gia. Oh man.
I
I have arrived. You hear me, honey?
You can't do it on the
I have
LG.
arrived. President, I'm here.
Okay.
2025 Texas election.
So, no, well, thank y'all for coming to the first one and everything. But the reason why I just asked y'all that as an icebreaker, y'all probably want to go just research it a little bit more and everything. I cannot tell y'all which way to go. I can't tell y'all how to vote. I can't do none of that. But what I can do is just offer you the facts. And a lot of people, when they hear stuff about Project 2025, it sounds like it's not true, right? But it's public knowledge. You can go to the Heritage Foundation. If you go to the Heritage Foundation, they have Project 2025 up, but they also have another project up called Project Esther. What I can tell you is Project 2025, a good thing for everybody to understand, especially in our situation, is they're trying to strip away civil rights, period. Civil rights, everything that we work so hard to do to progress, they're stripping that away right there. It's not nothing that's a conspiracy. That's the plan. It's not that they're doing it. That's what the plan is, right? In that, to make America great again, right? But once they go through with Project 2025, with the different things in there, when it's changing certain things in the Constitution, stripping away our rights, doing all these kind of things. Once they finish with Project 2025, they go into Project Esther. Now, Project Esther is deadly. Project Esther says that there's only two genders. Project Esther says that if you are trans, you are punishable to death. Project Esther says that if you are gay, it's a felony. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we already got our rights taken away. You know what I'm saying? Dismantling the Board of Education, dismantling all these different federal agencies that was put into place to help, the United States. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a lot like Zapara said. You would think the people that depend on this stuff the most would have voted against it, but they voted for it, not realizing that they're going to be hit the worst.
No,
So,
it's because they chose what was important to them, which was hate.
which was hate till it
So
it
it's
took.
not that they didn't think it would affect them. They chose what was more passionate for them: eating or hating a certain type of individual.
And that goes crazy that you would rather choose hate than to put food in your own belly and your children. That's just the country we live in. But what we're here to talk about today is we know that is everybody in here registered to vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody registered to vote?
Yes.
November 4th, we will be voting here in Texas. And there are certain propositions that are on there. And I don't know about y'all, but every time I've ever voted and they get down to a proposition, I swear for God, I'll be like, what is this? I do not understand. Because when they speak it in their language, you be like, you already there to vote now. You can't be like, what this mean? And stuff like that. Or even if you could, you don't want to be the one that look dumb, be like, I don't even know. So, you know what I'm saying? So you either vote or you don't, or you leave it blank, right? But a lot of those propositions, when y'all see propositions on a ballot, that could be anything from tearing these streets up, building bridges, tearing down old folks' homes to build up. You never know what the proposition is. You know what I'm saying? It could be something that may not affect you directly, but may affect you indirectly because of where you work, where your family is. So you just got to understand what them propositions is about. So we're gonna go over. There are 17 propositions, but we're just gonna go over the ones that's. I'm gonna just read them. That's all I'm gonna do because then y'all can always go back and after y'all leave here and go more in depth in them. And I'm gonna tell you the ones that I'm gonna send y'all the ones that you know y'all need to because I can't tell y'all what to do, but I can give y'all what it means.
Mark,
So
tell us what to do.
because I am a 501c3
Oh,
foundation and stuff like this.
Okay.
So I have my views. I'm gonna send y'all what I feel about what I'm gonna do, and y'all can make a choice on how y'all want to do that. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. Because you still have a choice not to agree with me. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's crazy. I had a conversation with a customer at my job
Mm-hmm.
about the proposition stuff right there, and, and this was a cisgender African American woman, and it's funny because she talked about the gender something what is it called? Gender confirming the
The
Mhm.
the affirming care,
Mhm.
and she was like, and she's okay. So she says they put the way they word it is that they're using the fact that they don't want youth transitioning or being on blockers before they're of age.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as their way to sell it. But it affects everybody. Everybody's grouped in.
Mm-hmm.
And she, as a session woman, said it includes her. So it puts her in a hard place because she doesn't believe that kids should be able to make the decision to transition because you're still a child.
Mm-hmm.
You should wait till you're 18 of age to make that decision. But she agrees that people should be who they want to be. But a youth changes so often. One minute you want to be a ballerina, next minute you want to be a doctor, she says. So we shouldn't allow our children to make that decision until they're of age, which I can understand that. She said, but it's crazy because it's going to affect women who have, I forgot what disease she said, the ones that grow like facial hair, stuff like that naturally. It affects them because they won't be able to get their testosterone blockers and their estrogen to help balance out their hormones. Or even for women who have really bad periods and have to take a certain type of testosterone to balance come out, that affects them as well. But they lumped it together and they're selling it like we don't want kids transitioning. So they get the majority on it, like, yeah, we don't want kids transitioning at the age, you don't even know. And it makes that hate train go on, and so then it affects everybody. She said it sucks for that. That's how we were getting deeper into the conversation. It was interesting to watch a black cisgender woman kind of be like, I don't care what y'all do. She doesn't have kids, but she doesn't feel like kids should be able to tell their parents they want to be a woman, and then it automatically starts happening technically wise. She talks a little bit about like the abortion, and something that may not be factual, but we heard what she's talking about. She said that she feels like the abortion laws only came upon when majority of the people having abortions were white girls, and in the next 10 to 20 years, they will no longer be the majority if these white women keep having these abortions.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying to force the white girls, even if they're at a young age, to give birth so that they maintain the majority. Because think about it, for someone who's always ruled with the majority, for you to lose that and know that the people that you try to suppress are now the majority, how do you feel? So this is why they're making those laws against abortion, that is to make these white girls give birth to their babies because they've been finding a lot more white babies dead. It's statistically proven that white women are the main ones getting abortions. And so it's to protect the longevity of the white bloodline in a sense, to be considered the majority. But that might not be factual. This just was her opinion.
No, that's the fact. So, and to speak on that too is like when you get more deeper into like the history of the politics of this nation itself, the white man has always been the problem.
Oh yeah.
And when I say the white man, I mean the white male species has always been the problem because they have always projected this theory that they are superior to everyone, even their white female counterparts. When in reality, we are all equal. Why are we still been trying to fight for equality this whole time when at the end of the day we all breathe the same blood, and at the end of the day your skin complexion nor does your gender mean anything, right? However, when you think about like, again, the history of our nation, back in like the 60s and 70s, when you think about corporation, the head of corporation was always the face of a white man. The theory of like, oh, women should be at home and housewives is a white man's theory. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we have come so far in encouraging and liberating everybody feeling like empowered to be that independent self and wanting to be equal, it's like the white man is not satisfied. The white man want to go back to this whole historic view of we are the head. We deserve the most. We deserve everything. That's not like in
Not
what
fair.
real human, in what democracy does that make sense? We are all equal. Period, point blank, period. And the thing about it is, again, to Jia's point, when you sitting here and you're trying to weaponize marginalized communities to try to get a point across, it's no way for you to effectively do that because you're trying to control something that's out of your realm.
But he found a way. What do you
Most
mean?
of y'all have never even lived a trans life, so how would you know?
But
how
no,
to
but he
affect
found,
somebody?
but he found a way. So instead of being racist with it, he found a way. Every race, majority except maybe Thailand people, hate gays and trans. It's just what it is. And we're such a small number, but it's across the board, religion-wise, they hate us, right? And so it's easy to put even two people who hate each other. It's like the enemy of my enemy becomes my friend because now we gotta get rid of these bitches, right? And so they put out these images of us in these lights that ain't necessarily the truth. I saw like an article about us, quote unquote, being the molesters and all that, and then somebody countered back with, well, 30 Christians and Catholic pastors and priests and all that stuff in the last 30 days have became acquitted of messing with kids, but I don't recall seeing trans or gay people on this flyer right here, you know, and that was the rebuttal, and it's
try to say that drag shows are so bad.
but because it makes sense though, because everybody hates us regardless. It's like in every race, every religion, we're the dirty spot on that white linen that we're not supposed to be. We're the stain. And so it's always about trying to erase the stain.
But however, the irony of it all is, in reality, what the white man depends on is that money is power. Because when you think about, if we're the problem, they're the problem too. They're the DL queens. Period. They are the dates. They are the clients that pay. The girl for coins.
Yeah.
So if you get rid of us,
But it's the
who you
same
gonna be
way.
paying
But
then?
look, no, it's not that you are really getting rid of us. What it is it makes it more exciting. You have to think about it. It's about the
It's a
excitement
thrill.
about it. Like having secret sex is like you want to sneaky like knowing I'm not supposed to be with you. It's taboo. It's so exciting. But I'm gonna throw a couple of $100. You just keep your fucking mouth shut, bitch. And I get to have this exciting fantasy of getting caught, not getting caught, going against what they're saying. It's like a thrill. It's like the people that like to steal. People like that. It's just something that gets you excited in life. It's an adrenaline rush. And so it's not gonna stop them. It's gonna make it even more exciting. Like, oh yes, now if I really get it's a bigger chance we might have. And it just makes it a little bit harder, but they're gonna still do it. When liquor was banned in the United States, they still found a way to make sure they were able to get drunk, no matter what. Even the richest, the one who controlled the politics,
Sit down somewhere.
Yep.
But whatever it says, I'm gonna go over these propositions right quick, and y'all can hear them. Like they not long. I made them to where I broke them down in layman terms. Cause what I read them and I said to myself, what? You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to know what they are, and then I show y'all the ones that why I'm doing what I'm doing, and then y'all can make y'all own decisions. Proposition 1 was to create 2 special funds for Texas State Technical College systems to pay for buildings, equipment, and education program. Think of it as the technical college systems as a big trade school in Texas. If this passes, Texas sets aside money just so those schools and buildings and machines like labs and classrooms and stuff like that can train students better. Why it matters is because it's about investing in education and future jobs. So that's Prop 1.
Yeah, but Prop 1, I can say yes or no. So Prop 1 too is that when you try to look into Prop 1, there's no real data where that money, that $3 million or something is going to. They're just trying to because it's gonna get federal funded already. So it doesn't need Texas money.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying to find a way to put like 300 million or 3 million up in there, and then it goes into like this much of it's gonna go to the school and everything's gonna go to the bitches' pockets. So yeah, it does sound good on black and white. Like, oh, they're gonna bring a tech school, whatever. But fun fact about Dallas and the Texas schools, a lot of them have cosmetology, automotive, AC included within their school systems already. That it's not necessarily a need for a tech school, but it does sound good on black and white. But when you look at the money portion of it, there's no real explanation where that money is going to.
And
so taxpayer money go again.
But I think another reason why when I was asking about the propositions with some of my people that's into politics and everything, some of my counterparts, they were saying that with the way that the federal government is going with the dismantling of education, all this kind of stuff, they do get federal funding, but there's no guarantee they're going to keep getting federal funding with the way that things are going. You don't know that, but we don't know that though because they haven't.
This state will always have the money from the, as long as
Because we're a red state.
If Trump is here and we're worried about that, how that looks out, as long as the Republicans in power, I know for a fact they're going to take care of their red states. You know, if you watch the game, it's all about the Democrat and going against the other party and dismantling them to take the majority.
And let me make it very clear, any red state benefits more from federal funding than any Democratic state.
Yeah, as long as they accept it, which they're going to do it. But Proposition 2 says, what it says is the state, let's see. It says the state would not be able to tax capital gains of individuals, families, estates, or trusts. Capital gains, which is profits from things like selling stock and property, and that's the Texas Secretary of State. If you make money by selling something big, like a house or stocks,
Okay.
oh, you would gag. Well, it says in simpler terms, if you make money by selling something big, like a house or your stock, Texas promises it won't impose a new tax on your profit, on that profit. Why it matters, it could affect how much money people keep when they actually selling their property or whatever they're selling. So that's Prop 2. Prop 3, for certain serious crimes, felonies, violent offenses, the amendment would require that bail be denied in some cases. In simpler terms, bail is when someone is accused of a crime, we know that, pays money so they can wait for trial instead of just staying in jail. This says for some very serious crimes, Texas is saying you probably will stay in jail to your trial instead of paying bail. Why it matters, it's about public safety and how the justice system treats serious offenders.
What are those
Also,
actual
these
stocks? 'Cause I
constitutional
thought it was even like, it wasn't even that severe. One of them I thought I read was $500 or less in retail theft. They'll make you wait until your court date
Yeah.
for $500 worth of retail theft.
But the irony of this right now is that if y'all look into the Texas, even just Texas, period, the Texas judiciary system doesn't even have enough housing for like
Don't to
the
even
stuff that we
for
doing
petty
right
stuff.
now, for petty stuff we're doing right now. They don't have enough room in the justice, and so the irony of them trying to, and you got again the wording of it all, for certain offenses, what does that look like then?
It's all discretion.
And because I'm a black person offended, or because I'm a white person offended.
Like it's
Yeah.
using it as a weapon.
Yeah.
And what they're going to do is they're going to have power people, private owners of jails, bill them, and then those private companies make money because they're friends with the politicians.
Right.
This is a lot of what's they call those when people the pyramids, those
The China Command?
No.
It started with C.
Pyramid scheme?
no,
A
Like a-
cartel.
no, that's not a cartel. It's like no, no.
What are we talking
When you're pretty much embezzling money, right?
Rico.
A Cosby scheme or something like that. Something
A Ponzi?
Ponzi scheme. There you go. So that's very much what it is, pretty much. And so when the law passes, they're going to need more jails to house them. Private people who have the capital to build them are going to build them and take on these contracts from the government. Now it becomes a government contract. But you still are, you're the one that cuts the check and makes the decision. So however those inmates live is how you decide they live. Because it's private now. And you get and they'll get a check for every inmate that they have up in that bitch.
about? And every one of these cops that are charging you with a crime, they know what crimes are qualifying for bail and what aren't. And it's up to their discretion what they charge you for.
Oh, yeah.
If you pulled over for whatever little petty crime, the cop could run it up. And it's on you, the
It's not
defendant.
just like they just want more control.
Oh, I need to call them.
Okay.
I need to call Chicago.
Well, Proposition 4, what it says, direct a portion of sales tax revenue to to Texas Water Development Board's water fund for water projects through 2047 and set rules on how it's used. In simpler terms, the state uses part of the money to pay people when they buy things, sales tax to help pay for water projects like reservoirs, pipes, water supply. Why it matters, water is super important, especially in Texas, for dry climate and growing population. This fund helps prepare for future water needs.
But that's dumb because again, when you talk about the bigger picture of politics,
But no, we need water.
But we
not that. That's not what I'm about to say. When you think about the bigger picture of politics, when I just said like red states benefit more from federal funding than Democratic states, the bigger government has these type of discussions too.
Mm-hmm.
Budgets to distribute to states for any infrastructure, anything like that. That's what they do. When they come up with the budget, the reason why we're in the shutdown right now is because they can't come up with a budget.
Well, correct.
They haven't agreed on a budget that would, again, effectively please their constituents. When I'm talking about the billionaires, they don't give a fuck about nobody else. But when you talk about a real functioning government that cares about everybody in the environment, shit like that, this type of project, we would need this type of proposition because the federal government would fund that.
Well, yes, but then if we're talking about how difficult it is to get the funding from the government during these shutdowns, having our own funding for these projects would automatically guarantee that
But
they
you're
get
not listening.
quicker.
We live in a red state. They don't have any issues getting the money.
But if they cut the funding, period,
Yeah.
But they're
we'll
not
have
cutting
it
from
here.
red states. They're not cutting it from red states.
That's back end. That's for rich folks. We still
Yeah.
live in Dallas. That'll be for all those other places where you can get dragged at, the sundown towns. But right here,
But my thing is like to Gia's point. It's
But
a
it's
red
staying.
state. It's a scheme.
yeah.
They're gonna put that out there to
Well-
say that this is what we're gonna do with the money, but in reality, y'all already had these resources.
But they can
to
have
do it.
that if they give me the training stuff for the girls.
Right. Okay.
Trade off. Boo. I'll vote yes and you get
Prop 5 says, let the legislator exempt animal feed held by owner for sale at retail from property tax, food and for farm animals. If someone owns animal food, like feed for cows, chickens, stuff like that on farms and all that, that they are going to sell in the store, the state could make a rule that says that they don't have to pay a certain kind of property tax on it. Why it matters, it's about supporting owners or farmers and possibly lowering cost of feed, which could help agriculture.
But it's our control. Like that's
Yeah.
not actually.
I mean, but that's just the proposition. Proposition 6, the state legislature prohibits imposing an occupation tax or a tax on certain securities transactions like stocks or bonds for some entities. This means Texas promises it won't charge certain businesses extra taxes for buying or selling stocks on securities and financial stuff. It affects investors, business markets, and possibly how Texas attracts financial companies or stock trading. It's a business way of saying, just like the other proposition when it was talking about you personal. But if you got a business and doing the same thing, they're promising they're not going to do no taxes. Proposition 7, authorize the legislator to exempt from property tax all or part of the value of the home, residence homestead of a surviving spouse of a veteran who died of a service-connected disease or condition. If a veteran died because of something they got from their service, for example, a disease linked to their time in the military, then their spouse could get help by paying less in property taxes on their homes. It supports veterans and their families. It recognizes their sacrifice. So I guess if you're disabled and stuff like that, and you die and you have a spouse, they can still keep those benefits of not paying extra taxes and stuff like that. Prop 8. Prop 8, the state would be prohibited from imposing debt taxes, estate, inheritance, gift taxes on property transfers after someone dies. When someone dies and gives their things or money to others, Texas would not be allowed to tax that transfer. Ain't that some shady shit?
No,
Like somebody.
No, that makes sense. So it's like if your parent dies and leaves you the house, and they have back taxes on it, currently now you have to pay those back taxes to get your mom's house. But going forward, after this law is passed, you just inherit the house and then you kind of start your own taxes.
It said it affects the families by how they inherit wealth and how it's transferred from one generation to the next, and not put you as in a. I can't take this no way. Here, y'all can, because if you can't pay it, like look at it this way. Your mama got a house, she got this, she got that. You can't even take it because why? Because you got to pay all this, and you may can't afford to do all that. You see what I'm saying?
That was made for them white folks that when they be on their last deathbed and their money's running out and they want to make them kids get their house and the land.
I love that.
But it's a good law. You know what I mean?
Let me see.
Talk about that one.
Proposition 9 authorizes legislators to exempt part of of the value of tangible personal property, things you own, not real estate that someone uses to earn income, like equipment for business and property taxes. If you own stuff from your business, if you own it, like machines, tools, equipment, Texas could make a rule so that you don't have to pay as much taxes on some of that stuff, making it cheaper for you to run your business. It supports business owners and job creators and job creations. Um, y'all be out here doing hair. You never know if somebody y'all might end up having your own salons and shit, you know.
Coming soon.
Okay.
I'm loving this law.
What it said, Proposition 10, the proposition allows a temporary exemption of property tax for a home that was destroyed by fire for improvements made on it. If a person's house is burned down and they rebuild to improve it, Texas could let them pay less on property taxes for a time. It helps homeowners recover from a disaster.
That's good. Because usually after you rebuild it, they audit your house and then your property taxes are more because your house is worth more.
You be like,
So they're
girl,
giving you the break of
just because
keeping
I added some things to my stuff, now you want to.
Now you want to be locked in for a little bit of time, at least a year or so, to adjust to have to end up paying more taxes because your value goes up.
Okay. Proposition 11. Allow the legislator to increase the exemption from property tax for homes owned by people who are elderly and disabled from $10,000 up to $60,000 in value. In simpler terms, if you are old or have a disability, girl, why would they say that? If you are old or have a disability, this rules means your home's taxable value could be lower, meaning you may pay less in property taxes. Helps older people or those with disabilities stay in their homes and afford their taxes. Let me see. Is that one of them? Oh yeah. See, the stuff that I like is lining up with the Stonewall Democrats of Dallas, but that's me. That's me. I can't tell y'all nothing. Proposition 12 changes how the state commission and judicial conduct and a tribunal, I don't know how to say that reviews judges' misconducts are made up. Judges' misconduct are made up. Also changes age requirement and how judges can be disciplined. This is about the group that watches over judges if they behave badly. This proposition changes who picks those people, how old they have to be, and how the system works. What is so tickled about trying to find out if judges is acting a fool? It deals with fairness and accountabilities and the trust in courts. Yep, so that one, let me see. Yeah. Now you got Proposition 13, increases the amount of exemption of homes or property tax for school district taxing from $100,000 to $140,000 of home's value. If your home is worth a lot, the first $140,000 of its value could be exempt from certain school property taxes instead of $100,000. That means you might pay less taxes. Helps homeowners with their property tax bills. Hold on, let me put this back. Yeah, so that's what it says.
Hey, Les, no. What is exactly?
Proposition 14, what it says, establish the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas and a fund for research on dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, with $3 billion transferred from state general funds. Texas would create a big new institute to study brain disease like Alzheimer's and set aside a bunch of money for it.
I agree.
This is about health, science, and helping many who suffer from these diseases. Oh, that's
I like that.
Proposition 15. You know why? Well, I'm just saying I'm gonna support that one because I swear for God, the other day I woke up and I was looking for my phone with my phone. It was right here. I was looking for this phone with this phone. I need y'all to take care of me. You know what I'm saying? I might got all time. Let's see. Proposition 15. Affirm that parents are the primary decision makers for their children and have the right and duty to raise, educate, and protect their children. In simpler terms, this writes into the Texas Constitution that parents have the right and responsibility to decide how their children are raised and taught. Why it matters is affects how the state, schools, and others cannot make decisions about your kids.
Wait, read that one more time. He said states and schools cannot make decisions.
It says affirms that parents are the primary decision makers for their children and have the right and duty to raise, educate, and protect their children. This writes into the Texas Constitution that parents have the right and responsibility to decide how their children are raised and taught. Why it matters, it affects how the state, schools, and others can or cannot make decisions about kids.
So that's something
No.
like CPS or something.
No, they need to let educators make decisions, honey, because
Yes.
sometimes people be sending their badass kids, and you need to.
And guess what? Hold on, but you know what? Guess what?
Yeah.
See, because the thing about it is when they write it, it's always something under.
It sounds good. It sounds good.
I
that
can't-
Parents are the primary people to make decisions in their children's lives. But like you said, you send your kids to school, and these educators got different opinions, and these parents come in storming to these schools about like my parental rights over my child. Like, yeah, I taught my kid to be a racist bigot. So
You
he's
can't-
gonna come
you-
into school and be a racist bigot.
And y'all
Doesn't matter
can't
what you
and
do
y'all
about
can't
it.
suspend him and do nothing like.
Doesn't matter that y'all taught him that civil rights are important. I taught my kid to be a racist bigot, and that's my parental right. And that's all I hear from y'all.
Nobody wants to.
And let's be real, fucking real. These parents don't raise their kids. They send them off to school.
My sister talking about it. It's my parental right to tell them to beat their ass. I'm like,
I don't know, y'all are sensitive. Y'all generation is sensitive.
I hate these y'all statements.
I just think
Hold on.
But it used to be where nobody even cared about if you was like your sexuality or
And
whatever.
all that, or
That's
what-
your own private prerogative. You see what I'm saying? What your sexuality is has nothing to do with who you is as a person.
you say something to me, I'm going.
They don't know how to separate the two.
Okay.
Mind
Pro-
your business and don't worry about who
I'm
I'm
getting
getting
nervous.
unless you trying to.
Proposition 16, and we got one more. What it says, clarify the Texas Constitution to state explicitly that only U.S. citizens can vote in a state and local election. Every Texan. In simpler terms, it spells out that if you're not a U.S. citizen, you can't vote in Texas elections.
That's crazy.
First
That's-
of all, that's dumb because legally, it's already a law. You have to be a U.S. citizen to vote.
There's-
What are you talking about? You have to be a citizen to vote.
Sheriff for Texas, law.
Yes.
Everywhere in
Yes.
the United States, you have to be a citizen to vote.
But
Hold up.
Yeah, I need them to know that if they're not a citizen, you shouldn't be voting.
Proposition 17 says allow the legislator to exempt from property taxes that increase in value of real estate in a county that borders Mexico, where that increase comes from building or installing border security infrastructure and related improvement. If you own land near Texas-Mexico border and you install border security stuff like fences, cameras, you may get a break on your property
I like that.
property taxes for the extra values of those you create. It relates to border issues, security, and property tax.
We don't need a wall.
Well, what y'all just need to know is just a quick thought. Most of these
You
ships.
said real quick, before you.
Oh my God.
Lion King,
But
right?
you don't have to
Let's
mute
make
that.
it make
You ain't
sense
the
on
one-
some
I
real
just
type
feel
of-
like
Let me make-
I work
no,
with
let's-
the general
let's-
public,
let's make
and
this-
these bitches.
Let's make this make sense. No, right? When you talk about the attack on brown people right now, the ICE agents rallying up and trying to get the illegal immigrants, but they are only targeting Hispanic people.
Mexicans.
Hispanic people, whether
No.
whether y'all
Be specific, because they're not.
okay,
It's Mexican.
Mexican, it don't matter at this point. Now they round up black people too.
Okay. They down in Houston
But
going
they're not
crazy.
The fact that they are attacking these people who, again, even if they are here illegal, they pay more taxes than we do. Let's make that very clear. Illegal or not, these are the people that work on the farms that harvest all the produce that we have here.
Well, if they're not legally here, they're not legally paying taxes, and that's one of the issues.
They are though. These people
what
are
it is.
paying
And then-
more taxes
But
than we do.
I work with the general public, and a lot of them be Mexican. And the frustrating part, so I be in the middle, because the frustrating part is that you've been here 10 years in this country, you haven't tried to become a citizen, and you can't even speak English.
Because it's hard.
And you can't even speak English. No, I wouldn't move to China if I didn't know how to speak Mandarin. It's just that simple. How am I gonna move to a country and be sitting there trying to figure out, so they'd be like, no, you know, right back, bitch.
But
Like if you want to live
but,
somewhere,
Gia,
and that's the ultimate dream,
but-
then when you got to this land, you should have.
But in this land, Gia,
we're talking about-
English is the dominant language, but we are so diverse as a nation that it's not the only language.
But it's the
here.
country's language.
It's not.
It is. English
It is
is the
not.
country. You have to be able to speak,
It is.
read,
It
and
is
write
the. It
English
is
to
the
get
dominant. But it's
when
the
you go
dominant.
take the test to become a citizen, baby, if you don't speak, read, or write English, you
What
can't
makes
take it, boy.
what makes the United States a leader and innovator in the motherfucking nation is because we are so diverse.
But the country's language is English, boo. It is guaranteed that everywhere should speak English in the United
Even
States.
black people don't speak English right.
But we don't technically speak English correctly because we don't speak like the British do.
No,
And
what I'm saying is,
because that's the proper way of speaking
what I'm
English.
saying is,
Because everyone's
brother,
invented the
is,
language.
my thing is this: they don't even want you to be educated. So if here's the thing, the white man is dumb.
Correct.
The people
I'm
you
not
really
saying
want
that.
is the people who are not, or the people who don't speak English. These are the people who you should probably be empowering to be on your team, because at the end of the day, you want
We say that.
these
but-
hillbilly, uneducated ass white people who don't know shit about nothing.
Correct. But a lot of those same people that we're talking about that be workers and artists that do all the film, I don't know nothing either. And
And
they're
that's-
there just trying to find the American dream, right? Quote unquote. My thing is that if you want the American dream, you apply yourself, right? These same individuals cheat themselves out of it. You may say it's okay, but for every dollar they get that I will
But
make,
they don't
get
cheat
50 cents.
themselves out. When you think
They
about
are.
when you
They're
think about
overworking
when you think
yourself.
no, but look, when you think about the
They
American
make 50
dream,
cents to my dollar
when you think about the American
because I'm a
dream,
U.S. citizen.
the white man has made it hard for you to even believe in the American dream, because when you think about it, education shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg to go get educated. Let's start there. Second of all, why is healthcare is a privilege in this nation? That's crazy. Healthcare? Everybody should
And
have
it's free in
healthcare.
other
It should-
countries.
It's free everywhere else.
Not everywhere else.
In other
There's places
countries.
that
In
are
other
free.
countries, it's
Canada's
free.
one of them.
And again, when you talk about the labor force, them bitches that we trying to keep out that don't speak English work the hardest. Period.
And I'm not saying they don't, but they're working the hardest because they're coming to a place and they're having to prove themselves.
No, they're not. That's their work ethic. Niggas don't. No shade to my own people. They don't want it. The niggas can have it. Your birthright is here. Like you said, it's nothing to stop you, but it is, because the white man has set up the system to be against you. You talk about even the justice system. I just saw a post about when you think about politics, they do corrupt that shit that they doing, and you got niggas in jail serving life sentence for petty shit. Let's be very fucking clear. The system is not set up fair for nobody but the white man.
Mhm. But that don't mean that I have to agree that people that want to come to this country undocumented or the correct way should be able to get pardoned, because if Wu was from Nigeria and she came here and she waited the years and she applied for her shit like that and did it the way she was supposed to legally do it, based on our constitution and how it legally is supposed to get done, based on our politics here and our policies, then why should I pardon that one who decided to come across the border without it, and my girl did all the work? That's not fair.
But
We're talking to somebody who has a child who is now a U.S. citizen.
The
who is an illegal-
reason why
immigrant.
is this, and it's simply this is where you got the dead the fucking argument. Bitch, Trump's wife is the illegal immigrant, and guess what?
And the
process
vice president.
And the vice
Well,
president.
no, she got the highest. Like,
Exactly, and that's my thing.
And she
It's
ain't
not
even.
but she
fair.
said with the right man.
But no,
I said with stay with the right
No.
icon and you'll get what you want.
It's not fair. And
She said with the
again,
right man.
to have this perception that people don't want to go through the right process is not what it really is. They make it hard for you to get it. Versus this
Maybe
bitch.
maybe because I'm from a blue state and there were so many English
Exactly.
English as a second language type of stuff where you can go to night school and learn to speak English and all
Mhm.
that. It frustrates me because I'm like, when they call American come speak Spanish to me, I just look at them. First of all, you don't know if I speak Spanish or not. You don't know what generation of lineage I am. I do speak Spanish, but I act like I don't. And I do crack a joke and say, Grandma,
But
I
to your case in point, you came from a blue state. The majority of the United States are red states, and again, to my point, somebody who lives in Texas going through the process of trying to get legalized is not going to have the same.
They make it hard for them.
Well, that's because it's so easy for them to sit there and come here illegally. It's not. I think that nobody wants to wait the process of it all because it's the
But
same.
Texas process is rigged even in that system when you think about it. That's why this whole border thing is crazy because again, the story that they're projecting is that everything corrupt comes from illegal immigrants. That's not true. Black on black crime exists.
Why not white crime?
The fuck are we talking about? They're not the issue. You're trying to make them the issue.
Yeah,
but in
exactly.
reality, these people are coming here because they're fleeing other bad issues. If we want to be technical about it, ain't shit that they can do in Mexico. They know that they can have a better life here in America where they can sit there, whether I'm going to be legal or not. I know I'm making more bread here than I can in Mexico.
Well, hold
That's
on.
what they care about.
Hold on, let me close this out right here. Like I said, most of these shifts involve taxes and paying and getting exempt and stuff like this.
What's the one about the trannies?
They don't have that as a prop. There's no proposition on there. They have that wasn't a proposition. That was legislation that was already up there that they were trying to pass and fight for that they wanted to pass. So that's totally different from what we're actually voting on. There's not a proposition for that. You know what I'm saying? They put that's like was rushed to the floor. They want that. But you got people like Jasmine Crockett, Vincent Jones, all these people up there fighting for that. So keep your eyes to that. A lot of this focuses on right and rules of parents. Some of this stuff is constitutional amendments to pass. But when all this stuff passed, it's hard to change it when it passed. So a vote of yes means you want the change. A vote of no means leave it alone. Even though some of these items may seem technical, they affect everyday things, houses, taxes, schools, and jobs. So we will be voting on November 4th. Which is Tuesday. Make sure everybody get out there and vote. And I'm going to close that right there. Thank you all for watching. If y'all want to go back and follow up with this, if y'all want to go.
Live debating.
But y'all already been debating because I can't say what I want to say here. So what I'm going to say is, if y'all want to go over them again, y'all can always go back and go over them before, like on Sunday or whatever, or before you go vote. Let me go see what was that one about or whatever. Let me see, what did he say? To make sure that y'all got it. So y'all have a great